One of golf's biggest stars is once again at the center of a firestorm. And this time, it's not because of anything that happened on the golf course. Veteran golf writer Alan Shipnuck has published what may be the most explosive investigation of Phil Mickelson's career. The lengthy report, released by Skratch, is based on interviews with 19 different sources and contains a series of allegations about Mickelson's personal life, alleged behavior away from the golf course, and his relationships behind the scenes. The report has sent shockwaves through the golf world, but almost immediately after it was published, Phil Mickelson's legal team fired back with a detailed response, accusing the report of being misleading and unfair. So, what exactly did Alan Shipnuck uncover? And why has this investigation sparked one of the biggest debates in golf? Let's break it all down. Before we continue, if you enjoy honest golf news, player updates, and the biggest stories from the PGA Tour and LIV Golf, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Now, let's get into it. Unlike a typical news article, Shipnuck's report is an extensive investigative piece built on interviews with 19 individuals who either knew Mickelson personally or were familiar with the situations described. According to the report, several sources described what they claimed was a years-long pattern of unusual personal conduct. One allegation has attracted more attention than any other. According to Shipnuck's reporting, numerous people connected to the Bridges Golf Club in Rancho Santa Fe claimed Mickelson would sometimes hand his cell phone to a pro shop employee or another club member before disappearing for several hours. The report alleges that the phone would continue traveling around the golf course while Mickelson was somewhere else entirely. According to the investigation, the reason was that his wife, Amy Mickelson, allegedly tracked his phone's location. Keeping the phone on the course would make it appear he was still playing golf. Shipnuck's report links this alleged practice to broader claims of marital distrust and alleged infidelity. It's important to note that these are allegations reported by Skratch. The publication itself stated that it was not suggesting the phone practice was criminal or sinister, describing it simply as unusual. Skratch also said both Phil and Amy Mickelson were asked directly about these allegations through their attorneys, but did not answer those specific questions. The investigation also explores Mickelson's departures from 3 exclusive golf clubs in Rancho Santa Fe: the Farms, the Madison Club, and the Bridges. However, Skratch emphasized that it never claimed Mickelson had been expelled from any of those clubs, despite speculation that followed the publication of the report. Not surprisingly, Phil Mickelson's representatives strongly disputed the investigation. Shortly after the article was released, Mickelson's legal team issued a detailed 2-page statement challenging several of Shipnuck's conclusions. Parts of that response were first published by the New York Post, before front office sports reporter David Rumsey shared the full statement publicly. But Skratch didn't back down. Editor-in-chief Ben Boscovich responded point by point, saying the publication stood behind Alan Shipnuck's reporting and maintained that every significant allegation had been carefully sourced before publication. Another major disagreement involves Amy Mickelson. Phil's attorneys argued that Amy should be treated as a private individual and that the report unfairly involved her in a public controversy. Skratch rejected that argument. The publication said, Amy has long been a public figure through her charitable work with the Phil and Amy Mickelson Foundation. Numerous national media interviews, including previous interviews with Alan Shipnuck, and even her appearance in Sports Illustrated's famous swimsuit issue in 1998. The report also references Ashley Perez. According to Shipnuck's investigation, Ashley Perez retained a recording of a 26-minute phone call in which Mickelson allegedly apologized to both Ashley and Pat Perez over an earlier incident involving an explicit photograph and an inappropriate proposition. Once again, Mickelson's representatives dispute Shipnuck's version of those events. The disagreement didn't stop there. Mickelson's team also questioned Skratch's credibility, arguing that readers should have been reminded of the publication's historical relationship with the PGA Tour, particularly given Mickelson's prominent role with LIV Golf. Skratch responded by saying its ownership history has been public knowledge since 2024 and insisted that the PGA Tour has absolutely no editorial control over its journalism. The publication also pointed out that similar allegations involving Mickelson have previously been reported by other independent media outlets. While this legal and public relations battle continues, Mickelson's future on the golf course remains uncertain. After stepping away from competition last season because of family health matters, Mickelson has made only one competitive appearance in 2026. He finished tied for 48th at LIV Golf South Africa back in March. Since then, he's missed the Masters, the PGA Championship, chose not to attempt qualifying for the US Open, and later withdrew from the Open Championship. His prolonged absence has naturally fueled speculation, although Mickelson himself has not publicly explained what comes next. Adding to the uncertainty is LIV Golf's own financial outlook. Recent reports suggest Saudi Arabia's public investment fund has shifted from providing direct funding to financing the league through loans, raising fresh questions about LIV Golf's long-term future. For now, however, the biggest story surrounding Phil Mickelson isn't about birdies or trophies. It's Alan Shipnuck's investigation. Whether the allegations ultimately change public opinion remains to be seen. What is certain is that the investigation has reignited intense debate throughout professional golf, while Mickelson's legal team continues to firmly deny key claims and says his primary focus remains his family. Now we'd like to hear from you. Do you think Alan Shipnuck's investigation raises legitimate questions that deserve public scrutiny? Or do you believe Phil Mickelson's legal team has a strong case that the report goes too far? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this report, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next one.